More Americans are quietly leaving, and these 7 Caribbean islands are where they're going. Not for a vacation, for a life. Lower costs, better weather, real community. In some cases, a second passport. Let's get into it. First stop, Dominica. And before anyone says it, not the Dominican Republic. 2 completely different countries. Dominica sits in the Eastern Caribbean, positioned between Guadeloupe to the north and Martinique to the south. About 290 square miles. 90% tropical rainforest. Volcanic mountains. Boiling lakes. Sulfur springs. Waterfalls that require a genuine hike to reach, which is, of course, exactly the point. Nature isn't a backdrop here. It is the entire experience. Cost of living. A 1-bedroom apartment in the capital, Roseau, runs $400 to $700 a month. A 2-bedroom house outside the city, $600 to $900. Groceries run $200 to $350 a month if you shop local. Fresh produce grown in volcanic soil, fish pulled from the Caribbean that morning. Imported goods cost more, as they do everywhere in the islands. Electricity runs higher than you might expect. Budget $100 to $150 a month, because the island is still heavily dependent on imported fuel. All in, a single person can live well for $1,200 to $1,800 a month. A couple, $1,800 to $2,500. Residency and the second passport. Dominica runs one of the oldest citizenship by investment programs in the world, since 1993. As of 2026, the minimum contribution to the government's Economic Diversification Fund starts at $200,000 for a single applicant. That gets you full Dominican citizenship and a second passport with no requirement to physically live on the island. The Dominican passport provides visa-free or visa-on-arrival access to over 145 countries. Dual citizenship is permitted. You keep your US passport. For Americans who want to simply live here without the citizenship route, a standard residency permit is available. English is the official language, and they follow British common law. Who it's right for and who it isn't. Dominica is right for you if you genuinely love nature, don't need a beach, and want a place the modern travel industry hasn't sanitized. It's not right for you if you need reliable high-speed internet, connectivity is improving but still inconsistent outside the capital. And it's not right for you if you want a busy, established expat scene. This community is small and rewards patience. From Dominica we head north to St. Kitts. The full name is St. Kitts and Nevis, a twin-island federation sitting in the northeastern Caribbean between Antigua to the east and St. Eustatius to the north. About 65 square miles, volcanic mountains rolling down to coastlines facing both the Atlantic and the Caribbean. The capital, Basseterre, has colonial architecture and waterfront character that makes it clear this island has been quietly getting on with things for a very long time. Cost of living. Rent for a comfortable 1-bedroom in Basseterre runs $700 to $1,000 a month. Outside the capital, $500 to $700. Groceries run $300 to $450 a month. Those who shop at local markets find costs drop considerably. Utilities run $80 to $150 a month depending on usage. All in, a single person, $1,500 to $2,200 a month. A couple, $2,200 to $3,000 a month. The tax structure. St. Kitts has no income tax, no capital gains tax, no inheritance tax. For Americans drawing retirement income, receiving pension distributions, or managing investment portfolios from abroad, this isn't a minor convenience. It's a fundamental restructuring of how much of your own money you actually keep. Americans are still subject to US tax obligations on worldwide income, but the absence of local taxation creates real financial breathing room that most Caribbean islands simply don't offer. Residency and the second passport. St. Kitts launched the world's first citizenship by investment program in 1984. 40 years of track record. That matters when you're making a decision of this scale. As of 2026, the minimum contribution to the government fund starts at $250,000 for a single applicant, or a family of up to 4 at the same price. The St. Kitts passport provides visa-free access to over 150 countries, including the entire EU Schengen zone and the UK. Dual citizenship is permitted. For Americans who want to simply live here without the citizenship investment, a formal residency permit is available. You'll need to show proof of income or savings, a clean background check, and proof of accommodation. The process is straightforward by Caribbean standards. Who it's right for, and who it isn't. St. Kitts is right for you if the tax environment matters, if the passport program interests you, and if you want an English-speaking island with strong institutional stability. It's not the most undiscovered island on this list. The expat community is established. Some people love that, others find it limiting. If you want proven infrastructure for island life with serious financial upside, this is it. Next, we head to Tobago. Part of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, but a completely different world from its larger twin. Tobago sits in the southern Caribbean, about 20 miles northeast of Trinidad. Roughly 116 square miles. Small enough to feel intimate, large enough to have real infrastructure. Trinidad gets all the attention, carnival, energy, and oil money. Tobago operates on an entirely different frequency. Slower, more laid back. Largely untouched by mass tourism. The kind of island people stumble into and then quietly tell only their closest friends about. Cost of living. A comfortable one-bedroom runs $400 to $800 a month. Trinidad and Tobago's energy wealth means electricity rates here are among the lowest in the entire Caribbean. Budget around $60 to $100 a month for electricity. Fresh seafood is available daily, at prices that will genuinely make you stop and read the sign twice. Internet infrastructure has improved significantly in recent years. Remote workers report solid connectivity for video calls and standard digital work. All in, a single person, $1,100 to $1,700 a month. Residency pathway. Americans can enter Trinidad and Tobago visa-free for up to 90 days. Long-term residency requires a permit. You'll need to show proof of financial means, a clean police record from the US, proof of accommodation, and a completed application to the Ministry of National Security. English is the official language, and they follow British common law. But here's something many people don't know. Trinidad and Tobago offers citizenship by descent. If either of your parents was born a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, you may be eligible to apply for citizenship directly without an investment or a lengthy naturalization process. For Americans with Trinbagonian heritage, this is worth looking into seriously. The Trinidad and Tobago passport provides visa-free or visa-on-arrival access to over 140 countries and full CARICOM free movement rights. Who it's right for, and who it isn't. Tobago is right for you if affordability is a priority, if you want English-speaking community life, and if you're drawn to an island that hasn't been overrun, but isn't off the grid. For serious medical situations, you may need to travel to Trinidad or further. That's the honest trade-off. For healthy, active people who want real Caribbean life at a price that actually works, Tobago is hard to argue with. Now, Saba. A Dutch special municipality sitting in the northeastern Caribbean, about 28 miles southwest of Sint Maarten. A volcanic island rising sharply from the sea to a peak of nearly 3,000 feet. 5 square miles. Fewer than 2,000 people. No beaches, no resorts. And the official currency is the US dollar. Americans living in Saba are spending the exact same dollar they used at home. No exchange rate. No conversion math. Cost of living. Housing inventory is limited by geography. 5 square miles leaves little room to build. A one-bedroom typically runs $900 to $1,400 a month. Groceries are imported and priced accordingly. Budget $350 to $500 a month. What you're paying for isn't cheap real estate. You're paying for world-class diving off your doorstep. Cloud forest hiking. A community of fewer than 2,000 people who know each other. All in, $2,500 to $3,500 a month. Not the budget option, but for what it offers, genuinely good value. Saba is home to the Saba University School of Medicine. That single fact shapes the entire character of the community. There's a consistent presence of international students, faculty, and medical professionals. The result is a cosmopolitan, educated expat environment that feels completely disproportionate to the island's size. Healthcare access, partly because of that medical presence, is well above the Caribbean average. Residency pathway. As a Dutch special municipality, Saba operates under Netherlands governance. For Americans, long-term residency requires a permit. You'll need to show proof of financial means, typically proof of income or savings, a clean background check, health insurance coverage, and a completed application through the Dutch Caribbean Immigration Authority. On an island of 2,000 people, the process tends to be considerably more personal than it sounds on paper. Who it's right for, and who it isn't. Saba is right for you if you want something genuinely unlike anything else in the Caribbean. Serious diver. Hiker. Someone who wants a tight, educated, international community without the noise of a larger island. It's not right for you if budget is the primary driver. Not right for you if you need a beach. And not right for you if you want anonymity. On an island of 2,000 people, everyone knows your name by week 3. Some people love that. From Saba we head south into the Grenadines, to Bequia. Pronounced Bequia. Part of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, 9 miles south of the main island of St. Vincent. 7 square miles, around 5,000 people. The Wall Street Journal, in a profile of the world's best places to retire abroad, chose Bequia. Cost of living. Expats here report living comfortably on under $2,500 a month. Housing, food, utilities, and a lifestyle that the Caribbean climate makes nearly effortless. Rent for a comfortable one-bedroom runs $600 to $900 a month. Local fish markets operate every morning. Produce is grown on the island. Dining out at local restaurants, not tourist spots, is genuinely affordable. The island is small enough that you don't need a car for daily life. Water taxis connect you to the rest of the Grenadines. The pace of spending slows naturally when the pace of life slows. Traditional wooden boat building using hand techniques passed down through generations. A whaling heritage that predates almost every modern institution on the island. An annual regatta that draws sailors from across the region. This isn't a place built for spectators. Expats who come to Bequia are expected to show up as participants in the community. The reward for that is a level of belonging that most Caribbean destinations simply cannot offer. Residency pathway. Residency in St. Vincent and the Grenadines requires a permit. For Americans, you'll need proof of financial means, typically a pension, investment income, or savings statement, a clean police record from the US, proof of accommodation on the island, and a completed application to the Immigration Department. Who it's right for, and who it isn't. Bequia is right for you. If you want authentic Caribbean community life at a reasonable cost with the kind of belonging that takes time but lasts. It's not right for you if you need fast, reliable internet for remote work. Connectivity is functional but not exceptional. The nearest major medical facility requires travel. The nearest international airport is on St. Vincent. If those trade-offs fit your life, Bequia is one of the best-kept secrets in the entire Caribbean. Now, Carriacou. Largest of the Grenadine Islands, a dependency of Grenada. Sitting between Grenada to the south and the rest of the Grenadines to the north. It has a population of roughly 8,000 people. No cruise ship terminals. No resort chains. Wooden boat building traditions centuries old. Some of the clearest water in the region. And a pace of life that the modern world genuinely hasn't caught up with yet. Cost of living. A comfortable one-bedroom runs $500 to $800 a month. Groceries, shopping locally, $250 to $400 a month. Fresh fish pulled from the water daily, priced for locals, not tourists. Local rum produced here and available at prices that will genuinely surprise you. All in, a single person, $1,300 to $2,000 a month. A couple, $1,800 to $2,600 a month. You're not compromising on quality of life to hit those numbers. The passport opportunity. Here's why Carriacou stands out strategically as well as experientially. Grenada's citizenship by investment program is one of the most respected in the Caribbean. As of 2026, the minimum contribution to the National Transformation Fund starts at $235,000 for a single applicant, or a family of up to 4 at the same price. That gets you full Grenadian citizenship and a second passport. The Grenadian passport is one of the only Caribbean passports with a bilateral treaty allowing its citizens to apply for E2 investor visas to the US. Caribbean Life Now, a US return path that doesn't require giving up your Caribbean base. That combination is genuinely rare. The passport also provides visa-free or visa-on-arrival access to the UK, the entire EU Schengen zone, China, and over 140 countries globally. Dual citizenship is permitted. You keep your US passport. Note: to qualify for the E2 visa, Grenadian citizens must be domiciled in Grenada for a continuous period of 3 years before applying. Something to factor into your planning if the US return path matters to you. Who it's right for and who it isn't. Carriacou is right for you if you want authentic Caribbean life combined with serious passport and investment optionality. The combination, real unspoiled community, one of the Caribbean's most powerful passports, is very hard to find anywhere else. Healthcare requires travel to Grenada for anything beyond basic care. Getting here means a ferry from Grenada or a small prop plane. Last stop, and this one is genuinely unlike anything else on this list. Marie-Galante, French Caribbean, about 25 miles south of Guadeloupe. A flat circular island, roughly 61 square miles. Population around 10,000 people. Here's what makes this different from every other island we've covered today. Marie-Galante is not a former French territory. It is France, an integral part of the French Republic, a full member of the European Union. The healthcare system serving Marie-Galante is the French national healthcare system, consistently ranked among the best in the world. The legal protections here are French law. The currency is the euro. For Americans who have spent years navigating US healthcare, the premiums, the deductibles, the coverage gaps, the bills that arrive weeks after treatment, living within the French public healthcare framework is not a minor lifestyle upgrade. For many people who have looked seriously at this island, it is the entire reason. Cost of living. Rental costs run below mainland France. A one-bedroom runs approximately $600 to $1,000 a month. Locally grown produce and locally produced goods are available at reasonable prices. 3 working rum distilleries producing rum agricole, distilled directly from fresh-pressed sugarcane juice, available at prices that serious rum drinkers back home would find almost offensive. All in, a single person, $1,500 to $2,200 a month. With French healthcare coverage included in that picture, the real value of that number is significantly higher than it looks on paper. Residency pathway. As part of France and the EU, long-term residency for Americans follows French immigration rules. Americans can stay visa-free for up to 90 days within any 180-day period. For longer stays, you'll need a long-stay visa applied for from the US before you arrive. Requirements include proof of financial means, typically a bank statement showing sufficient funds or steady income, proof of health insurance coverage, proof of accommodation on the island, and a completed application to the French consulate in the US. The process is thorough and paper-heavy, in the French tradition, but it is navigable and well documented. The island operates in French. This is not a place where you can get by entirely in English. For Americans who speak French, or who are genuinely committed to learning, Marie-Galante offers something that doesn't exist anywhere else on this list. European quality of life, Caribbean geography, French healthcare, and an address most people back home won't believe is real. Who it's right for and who it isn't. Marie-Galante is right for you if healthcare coverage is a priority, if you speak French or are committed to learning, and if you want the legal framework of a European country in a Caribbean setting. It's not right for you if you need English to function day to day. The international expat community here is small. But for the right person, it is one of the most remarkable places to live that the Caribbean has to offer. 7 islands. 7 real options. Which one spoke to you? Drop it in the comments. If you want more content like this, real options, real numbers, real pathways, subscribe. Until next time, safe travels.